Oh, hi. Wait, what? Did I just use a piece of string to rotate the camera towards myself? No. Why, why are you asking me questions like that? What are you, some sort of big old, dummy? Dumb person? Are you dumb? Hmm? Anyway, today I'm going to be, tattooing some of my art on myself. I'm be real with y'all, whenever I gave myself my first tattoo, I didn't think about its future as a leg sleeve. I just wanted to tattoo a little goblin boy that I had drawn onto my calf. Now, it was the first tattoo on real skin that I had done during my apprenticeship, and I have zero regrets, okay? I would throw myself onto a fire for this little man. If you say a single ill-intended word about my son, I will erase you, okay? I will erase you and salt your grave so that no flowers may bloom on it. Alright, in all seriousness though, he looks a little lonely there, perched on my calf, and I want to surround him in a nice mythological fantasy landscape, surrounded by fantasy creatures. And I think it'll be a cool, like, little doodle sleeve. I don't know. I think it's gonna be cute. Now, if you are curious, I was professionally trained through a tattoo apprenticeship, and I've been doing this for about a year and a half. Not to say I'm amazing at this or anything, but I'm going to be doing this in a clean and safe way. Not to say you have to go through an apprenticeship to be able to tattoo yourself or other people, but it's really helpful in, getting the right habits, at least sanitation-wise. Also, having a teacher is pretty helpful in finding the source of what you're struggling with when you are learning, so it can make things go a lot quicker. Though I will say that it's going to be tough getting through your apprenticeship if you are not surrounded by good people. A lot of tattoo shop culture is, let's call it abrasive. There's a reason why I like to tattoo out at my house rather than a tattoo shop. And I'll let you in on a little secret. I actually had to scrap the original intro to this video because it was kind of a huge bummer. I used it as an excuse to vent about all the crap that had happened over the last year, and some of the topics were not so YouTube friendly. If y'all want a bit of a story time to catch y'all up on that, let me know in the comments if you want to see it, and I will work on that long and twisty tale. But for now, we've got a leg sleeve to design. Oh, and before we start, quick reminder to like this video if you indeed do, or, dislike it if you thought it was poopy. But regardless, if you subscribe, you'll be able to find my videos and be able to like or dislike them to your heart's content. Thank you. Alright, so if we are using the measurements from my goblin sitting amongst some mushrooms tattoo, it is 5.5 centimeters. And no, I ain't gonna be using no freedom marks to measure my shit, because it is way easier to use centimeters because they are divisible by 10 and inches are divisible by increments of 16. So that is stupid. Because it's like a goblin with some mushrooms, I kind of want it to be like fantasy, with the main thing of my drawing being a giant tree with a whole bunch of random little fantasy things all over it. And note, my entire leg sleeve is of course going to be way bigger than this single piece of paper, so we're just gonna add to the sleeve piece by piece, and when we need a new piece, we'll just get a new, piece of paper that can fit the whole thing. Don't need to worry about that too much. To make this seem more like a little cozy spot for this guy, I think I'm gonna put some big old ferns around the sides and maybe like a fiddly fig or a monstera sort of vibe around it, because this is a forest. It's gotta have forest plants. Alright, so this is technically stage 2 for this leg sleeve because I already got this little guy drawn out. I'm going to shade all of the background on this and make this kind of like a little cove inside of this tree trunk. Now this is of course going to be a much larger tree. This is not the top of the tree. This is just like a little branch. I really like this little bird here. But yeah, let's make a stencil for this. If you are curious as to what else is in this sketchbook, I really don't think you want to know. So before we actually make the physical stencil, we're going to ink this out just so we can see the lines a bit better through the paper that we're going to trace onto. I do have an iPad. I could have printed this out, but my printer currently is out of ink. And also, I don't have a stencil printer because those things are like $500. Oh, well, of course this pen is dead. I have lost my good pens, so I'm just using like a regular ballpoint. It'll do the job. Scratch that. This ballpoint sucks. Sometimes you do actually need better supplies. Okay, so I went out and got some new pens. I have used these before. They are pretty good for literally this specific purpose. So if you want to get some of these, this is the brand. I'm not sponsored by them, of course. Who would pay me money to do that? So this is our stencil paper. It works really similar to graphite transfer paper. You just trace your design onto this piece and you can then stick it to yourself. Whenever I do tattoo this, I'm going to make the tree trunk have thin lines instead of thick lines because it is a background piece and it's going to be behind the mushroom, so you don't want it to draw attention, and thicker lines tend to do that for you. And before anyone says anything, I do know that these roots here kind of look like an ass. That was halfway intentional. Thank you. You know who, like, really scares me? Like, you know those, like, trucker hats that have, like, superhero emblems on it? Like Deadpool, The Flash, that sort of junk? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I love nerdy shit. I love Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Marvel. But those nerds that can, like, bench press 350 and, like, pound, like, natty lights, it scare the shit out of me. I love how we all came together after 2014 and unanimously agreed to forget about how we all thought that bacon was like the funniest shit. Like, what happened to us? Are we all cringy? Is this what links us? Is cringe what links us? Alright, so we have our finished stencil. All we gotta do is cut it out and get prepped. Apologies in advance for the footage that I'm about to subject you to. Alright, it's over with. This is me. Are you happy? Now I won't fault you if you threw your phone across the room in disgust and stopped watching this video. But for those of you who are less faint of heart, I implore you to continue watching. Thank you. Theatrics aside, I have to shave my legs, so yeah. I don't think I've seen my legs this clean since I was like 13. I've always had like hairy ass legs. The rest of my body is completely hairless, but my arms and my legs, it's like a, as someone once told me, it's a reverse sweater, and I will never forgive them for that. Damn dog, I feel like a dolphin. Normally you'd be wearing gloves for all this, of course, but I know where I've been, and I have been nowhere, so. You're just gonna lather up some stencil stuff. It's literally just called stencil stuff. It's like a lotion sort of applicator thing for stencils to where it adheres to your body. Stand up straight, Brody, like a good boy. Okay. Dope. Now we might have to just freehand a good bit of this stuff, which won't be a big deal. I ain't too peeved about that. Sweet. Okay. Stencil's a little bit whiffed. It's hard to do on your own when you're trying to stand up straight so it's not distorted, you know? But we're just gonna go, oh my god. Alright, we're just gonna trek forward, I guess. Alright, so this is our little setup. We got 1 to 9 green soap and distilled water. We got a 7 and a 5 round liner, and we got our machine, which is a Dragonhawk Masked Wraith, I believe. I'll look that up later to see if I'm correct. But yeah, and just some paper towels. We're also going to add some A&D and some dynamic black for our ink. So yeah. Okay, we'll do our 7s first. Okay. Can you even see that? There you go, now you can see. Hey, there you go. Simple as that. There we go. Alright, let's time lapse this. Woo! We got ourselves a failure, boys. The round liner that I got is not the best quality, so it's pretty shaky. It looks okay for like the tree trunk and stuff, and it's also a lot thinner than I expected. I have a different set of 7 round liners that are a lot thicker for some reason, but this one is really thin and very shaky, and it's making my leg look like shit. So I went ahead and did the rest of the tree trunk with that round liner, though I think I'm just gonna give this another shot with a lot heavier line weight for the areas that I want it to be heavier anyway, which I have a lot of high quality round liners that are a lot thicker than this. Let's see what we got here, just to show y'all how bad it is. And I saran wrapped all my camera equipment so I could mess with it with gloved hands on. I'm just gonna remove it afterwards. I mean, this doesn't look as terrible. I mean, it still looks really bad. The line weight is very inconsistent because I was trying to make it look thicker by going over it whenever I had squiggly lines because, well, for one, it's just a really bad round liner. I'm just gonna go over it with a really heavy 9 or a 12 in my high quality. I'm gonna clean up and then I will meet you guys in a couple days. So I did a bit of a stinky, and it's a little bit more than a week since the last clip. I was a little quirky and procrastinated a little bit, and it's been about a month and a half. In the meantime, I sprouted earrings, a mustache, and all of my leg hair back. I put off my own tattoo to do a couple others, and I noticed what I was doing wrong with my own tattoo, so hopefully this time around will be a little bit better. Let's get back into it. So we are all set up again. I got my stencil on. I kind of had to patchwork it because I left a few empty spots because I quit in the middle of it because I was getting frustrated. Now that I've learned a couple new techniques, and also I dropped the Dollar Tree needles and got my better ones that I am used to, we are all good to go. So let's do that. First things first, we're gonna go over a couple of the lines that I didn't do well the first time. So, yeah. Alright, now we're gonna actually move on to the actual stencil itself. Time for the rest. This is going to be a difficult area to reach, so it's probably not going to turn out great, but we're going for it anyway. I didn't bother making a stencil for the veining. I'll just freehand it. So we dropped down the RPM of this dude. And we're just going to stipple shade a little bit, just to bring out some contrast to make this not so chaotic. I'm trying to make this look like a cave inside of the tree. Not like a cave, but like a indention inside the trunk. My leg is entirely asleep. I can't feel a damn thing. Oh, my leg is tingly. Oh my gosh. You know when like your leg is so, like the blood circulation is so bad that you don't want to move your leg because the tingling hurts? Is that just me? I don't know. Relatable content, guys. Alright. Hell yeah. That is a lot better than it was. Thank God. I mean, I knew that it was going to be really hard to tattoo myself from this angle, so I probably should have, placement-wise, put it somewhere else. I am still happy with it because it's a doodle tattoo. It's supposed to look a little grungy, a little cool. It's done. So let's get the close-ups and such. So yeah, that's the doodle sleeve. I know it's really bad, okay? I know it's bad. It's some of my worst work, but I love it. It's really cute to me, just having like a little doodle sleeve. It's not supposed to be serious, and it's not supposed to be taken seriously. It's kind of charming to have it be a little bit scratchy just to make it look sketchy. I don't know. It's really hard to like contort myself in all these weird positions just to try and tattoo the back of my knee. It's so hard to focus on keeping yourself steady the entire time when you are trying to pull a straight line. Thank God that I am better at tattooing other people than I am myself. If you want to see me screw up the rest of my leg, which I am planning on doing, with a whole bunch of little fantasy creatures just kind of swirling around having fun, I would hope that you would subscribe. It would help me out a lot. But I appreciate you watching through this far, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.